Here we will take a closer look at the people, experiences, and leadership shaping the future of the insurance industry in the Philippines. Throughout the series, we will be speaking with industry leaders, educators, and practitioners who are helping strengthen the Philippine insurance ecosystem, from advancing professional development and mentorship to navigating the realities of risk, resilience, and emerging challenges. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the IIAP podcast. I am your host, Jacqy Raj. We're excited to be back for Season 2, following the wonderful response to our first series launched last year. Now, in Season 1, we explore the fundamentals of insurance, like what it is, who it serves, and the role it plays in protecting individuals, families, and businesses. Now, the conversation sparked definitely meaningful dialogue within the industry and beyond, and we are grateful to everyone who tuned in and supported the series. For this new season, everyone, our focus shifts to insurance in practice with the Insurance Institute for Asia and the Pacific, or IIAP. Here we will take a closer look at the people, experiences, and leadership shaping the future of the insurance industry in the Philippines. Throughout the series, we will be speaking with industry leaders, educators, and practitioners who are helping strengthen the Philippine insurance ecosystem, from advancing professional development and mentorship to navigating the realities of risk, resilience, and emerging challenges. And to begin our season, we are honored to welcome someone whose career reflects decades of leadership and dedication to the profession. Our guest today is the chairman of the Insurance Institute for Asia and the Pacific, and a very respected leader who has spent more than 6 decades in the insurance industry, Mrs. Ming Jacinto. Hello, Ms. Ming. Thank you so much for being here. You look amazing. How are you feeling?
Thank you. As I've said, I don't do this every day, so I feel so awkward.
No, you look amazing.
Sitting in front of you, a very seasoned interviewer.
Oh, wow. Speaking of seasoned, actually, I'm so inspired by your journey. 60 years in the industry. That's a very long time. I'm curious, what was that like for you? What made you get so into or attracted to the industry, and why did you stay for that long, or why are you here for so long?
I did not plan my career. When I passed the board, the CPA board exams,
Okay.
I came to Manila to take my oath. And there were several of us who were going to apply for jobs.
Okay.
And I wanted to join them. I wanted to go to SGV, which was the auditing firm. But somebody took me along with her to the Insular Life Assurance Group. And before I knew it, I was hired by FGU Insurance Corporation in their accounting department.
Okay.
Well, I enjoyed my stay there. The people were very friendly.
Okay.
And the work was something that I liked. So I stayed on. And fast forward, I became the Chief Financial Officer. And there were many changes by then. Doing insurance business was more complicated. And I saw the big picture. I thought that this is something that I like to do. To be able to organize things, put them together, and see good results.
Wow.
So I stayed on.
Wow. And the rest is history. And here we are having this conversation, you as the chairman of IIAP. I am now very curious. I'm sure you have a very unique vantage point when it comes to, how the industry is evolving. Your perspective is quite unique in that range, or in that light, rather. So how is the role of insurance education, because that's what we're doing right now, right? How is the role of insurance education changing in response to a lot of the challenges that the industry is facing today?
Before I answer that, Jacqy, I want to tell you also that the job in FGU provided me with a lot of opportunities. As a matter of fact, they transferred me to other departments. And later, I became president of the reinsurance company of the group, the Universal Reinsurance Corporation. And out there, I learned a lot more. I learned reinsurance. I learned stability of the insurance industry, and prepared me for the insurance world. One of the things that they made me specialize in was insurance education. They made me already a member. They allowed me to become a lecturer
Okay.
in the institute. Later, I became member of the board and became its chairman. I find the position very rewarding because I am now at a vantage point where I can share knowledge,
Right.
where I can get knowledge too, and at the same time, be in the industry forever
I love that, forever.
without retiring.
Exactly. That is amazing. And now going back to that unique vantage point, right? Because you've seen it all. There are certainly so many challenges in terms of, insurance education that the industry is facing right now. How are we faring in that light? And what are these challenges that you're, experiencing?
I thought being chairman was an easy job. But then there's a lot of responsibility to be able to train executives or
Yes.
people to become leaders of the insurance industry. We did not only offer courses on the fundamentals of insurance,
Right.
the writing and underwriting of risks,
Right.
pricing them, and seeing to it that we cover almost everybody. But at the same time also, we wanted them not only to be technically competent,
Okay.
but become leaders themselves.
Now, I'm curious because you mentioned leadership skills, right? And there are a lot of components that make up good leadership. What are the top three leadership gaps that you have noticed among your students, and how are you helping them overcome these challenges?
First, they're very good. They learn the fundamentals very easily,
Okay.
can recite them from memory, and I think they do that in their everyday work.
Yeah.
But still, there is that inherent shyness of being able to talk about their jobs.
Really?
Of course, maybe informally, but ask them to go in front and talk about it, they clam up and they're suddenly shy. So we're also trying to develop their communication skills.
Okay.
There's a lot of assistance
Okay.
that they can get from us in that regard. As a matter of fact, we've encouraged them to be sharers themselves, meaning lecturers,
Yes.
so that they can develop
Yes.
those skills.
It's like a muscle. You need to
Yeah.
keep on using it.
Because there are very few now who really go up into the higher positions. They branch out to other industries, they go to other industries.
Right.
So we need these people to be able to continue what we have started.
So communication skills, being able to really, take up space and
Right.
speak up, that's one of them. Is there anything else that you'd like to share, or
That
is
they should continue learning.
continuous learning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because teaching is also learning.
That's true. That is true. Speaking of continuous learning, I'm sure there's a gap or a difference, or is there? I mean, 20 years ago versus now, would you consider these challenges to be the same, or are they different?
Different, very much different.
Very different.
In those days, if you have to specialize, say, in one area of insurance,
Okay.
it's either not provided here in the country, so you'll have to go abroad or maybe around Asia. Several years back.
Several years back.
But now with technology, with online learning, you can always attend a course or a seminar from elsewhere and learn. So it's just a matter of wanting to do it.
Now, in terms of relevance, right, because things are definitely changing, we're becoming very adaptable. How does IIAP work with insurers, regulators, and even practitioners to make sure that its learning programs stay relevant, up to date?
We work with the insurance companies, of course, directly.
Okay.
We offer our courses to them. We meet with their CEOs or the heads of their training executives. But on the other hand, we have a very good working relationship with the industry associations like PIRA,
Okay.
the Non-Life Association, and PLIA,
Okay.
because they are the ones who tell us what their training needs are.
Okay.
especially by their people. We also have to communicate regularly with the regulator because there are so many changes happening now in regulation. Like currently, I'm very much involved in the implementation of the IFRS 17,
Okay.
which is supposed to be on board by 2027, but the 2026 financial statement should already be aligned. We're working very closely with their team so that we will be on the same page.
How do these meetings go, though? I mean, are they receptive? Are the CEOs receptive, for instance? I mean, I'm curious, how do these normally
Well, I've
unfold?
gone through periods of acceptance.
Wow,
They
okay.
view us some kind of as suspicious, that they're suspicious of what our intentions are. But it's very much different now.
Now.
We're working like
Very
a team.
Oh, that's so good to
Yeah.
know. So definitely
Maybe
more
because these
reception.
are younger people, younger than me.
They'd be like, we cannot disrespect, ma'am. I'm kidding, but really, that's really good to know. The conversations have definitely started,
Right.
and they're being more open and receptive.
And I have a unique experience lately where the regulator consulted us on a change in the treatment, say, of a very important account. In those days, they would just come out with their circular letter instructing us to do it. But this time, there is consultation.
I know, that's really good to hear, and that's just one way for us to see how things have definitely progressed. Now, speaking of progressing or progression, let's talk about the young talent, because the young talent very much out there, they're up there, but people are fighting over our young talents. And so I would like to know, from your perspective, from your strategies, how do you normally encourage young leaders, young talents to have a career in insurance?
I'm like a walking salesman. I was in Naga City 2 weeks ago, and two of my friends brought their children along
Okay.
or about to graduate from the university. I was selling to them the career of insurance, that it's not boring as everybody thinks, that you learn a lot of things, especially about your own interaction with life. But you cannot do it just like that. You cannot have people talking the way I talk, maybe because I'm happy with my career. So we have done it in IIAP. We have a more organized program, which is the Suits program, wherein we invite graduates from the university to join our 60-day program. We train them in all aspects of insurance, life and non-life.
Okay.
We even give them some stipends so that their parents will not spend for that. Last year, we graduated 20 scholars. I sat in some of the sessions in their graduation, and I saw the excitement, which is a complete change from way back. And I think we have already deployed 16 of those 20, and they have been absorbed by insurance companies.
You must be very proud. That's
Yes,
so good to know.
yes. As a matter of fact, I introduced one graduate from my own university in Naga.
That's really good. And I'm sure they'll never forget, the experience, the lessons that they've learned from IIP, for sure. Okay, so moving forward, and speaking of long term, what opportunities can't you wait for these practitioners to discover along the way?
They should learn the fundamentals,
Okay.
like underwriting, pricing of risks, what are those properties that need special attention. At the same time, they should be technology savvy already, because it is now a very much digitalized industry. You can buy insurance online.
True.
Okay. And some companies even pay simple claims online,
Right.
without
right.
facing their clients. Or our talents should be equally knowledgeable in technology. But that's not a problem, Jackie.
Yes.
When they walk in, they are already good at
Yes.
technology. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So really keeping up with the times to
Right.
stay relevant. I love that. I love that. Now, you have so much experience in the industry, and I'm sure you have a lot of lessons. So what do you think is that maybe you have a lot, but maybe pick one of the biggest lesson that you believe a lot of our practitioners should never forget.
Insurance is very much people-oriented.
Okay.
In spite of the advancement and technology, there's still a need to understand different needs of different people
Okay.
for insurance. And I think the rapport with clients should always be there. When I was controller of FGU, I never got involved in the payment of claims. Neither did I talk to adjusters or other personalities involved in claims. But one fine day, just happened to be there, and I listened to one claimant narrating what happened to his house during a terrible flood somewhere in Bicol. And suddenly realized, and the claims person who was interviewing them had a very nice rapport with her, that she started with tears flowing. By the time they were done with the conversation, and I was right there because I was holding on to the check, she was already smiling.
Oh.
And I cannot forget that, that you still have to be very much people-oriented.
At the end of the day, that's why we do what we do, and we're
Yeah.
helping people. Wow. That's a very good reminder. Thank you for sharing that. Now,
Another one,
Go ahead, go ahead.
insurance must have been in my blood already. I saw a terrible accident one day in the South Luzon Expressway. At that time, there was no Skyway.
When was this?
And the lady driver was at a loss. She was almost crying because her car was bumped by a van, I think a service vehicle. You know what? Instinctively, I parked my car and went over to try to settle the argument.
You got in between an argument. That's a
And
little
I told the
risky.
driver of the service van that
Okay.
it's your fault really, because you hurried up in trying to make the turn. And suddenly there was this traffic enforcer
Okay.
was there and was surprised on who I was.
Who is this
I said,
lady?
and who are you anyway? I said, I'm the controller of FGU Insurance Corporation.
There you go.
So from there you can see that's in my system.
Thank you for protecting the voiceless and those who actually need help. I appreciate that. Now, looking at the young generation, our I'd say people who want to navigate again in the insurance space, I want to know from your perspective, what do you think does the young generation underestimate about insurance today?
Sometimes they limit themselves to what they learn in IIAP, for example,
Okay.
which are the technicalities of insurance.
Right.
But they forget the big picture, the economy, the GDP growth, which is very much a factor
Right.
in the success of insurance. At the same time also, they miss out on the global events that may also affect the business of insurance. But they can always read that. There's so many publications on those topics.
Yes, I mean,
And I encourage them to do that.
right, to read on. Maybe they don't have to necessarily experience it
Yes,
because they're young,
right.
but really to just be aware and really understand the current conversations happening. Now, let's talk about education and public trust, Ms. Ming. So I want to know, for large insurers and multinational companies operating in the Philippines, a lot of talent development is definitely a priority, right? So how can institutions like IIAP support organizations in building stronger technical and leadership capabilities within their teams?
Definitely, the requirements are different, the larger organizations. So we want to focus more on customized solutions.
Okay.
We interview them and inquire as to what they think we can offer. If it is not available immediately in IIAP, we introduce them to other institutes
Okay.
who might be qualified or may have them
Right.
almost ready. That's the reason why we continue to attend conferences
I see.
and participate in them, so that we will have them at our disposal.
What are these what are these, I'd say, needs that you have discovered so far, talking with these larger companies? Because you mentioned it's different when it's at a scale like that.
Yeah, for example, it's only the big companies that write the insurance for luxury vehicles.
Okay.
When electric vehicles came by, there were not too many of them who wanted to write them. When we thought that maybe we'll provide them with the learning for that,
Right.
and immediately sent one executive to Malaysia, which was offering a seminar on that,
Okay.
and shared them with these companies who wanted to learn.
Thank you. Now, what about leadership skills, though? Because we're also talking along the lines of that, right? Would you say it's different for larger companies, or it's pretty much the same, depending on, no matter the scale?
As my former bosses, leaders are born. They show that talent according to him.
According to
But
your
on the other hand, I think they can be trained.
Yes.
And the big companies usually have a succession plan. They identify, perhaps they want to move into the organization
Right.
higher up, and they train them. We are also consulted about that and how we can help train their prospective talents, prospective leaders.
Yeah, definitely. It's contingency planning, and also I forgot the term incorporate, but we definitely want to make sure that there are leaders in the pipeline as well, so that people can move up, the corporate ladder. So that's a very good initiative. Now let's talk about events like the Philippine Insurance Summit. It brings together a lot of our leaders and practitioners from across the industry. Why do you think are these conversations worth having?
We're very proud of that because, as I've mentioned, the insurance industry is constantly changing, evolving.
Yes.
And you cannot be left behind. So we put this insurance summit together to be able to be updated, because the speakers are mostly from, some of them from overseas,
Right.
and they've had advanced information, advanced knowledge, and I'd like them to share that with our industry. Our own speakers also coming from our ranks are able to talk about the Philippines and present the Philippine insurance industry as a reliable one, trustworthy one.
Exactly.
So it's a dual, there's a dual effect.
Now, would you like to invite, speaking of our Philippine Insurance Summit, would you like to invite our audience?
I am inviting everybody, whether you are in the insurance industry or not, to join us in the Philippine Insurance Summit on June 3, 2026 at the Fairmont Hotel in Makati. And we will have speakers from overseas and also from local speakers from the local insurance industry. Mark your calendars, June 3, 2026, Fairmont Hotel, Makati.
Of course, looking ahead of things, I want to know, coming from Miss Ming herself, yes,
Thank
of
you.
course, what is your vision for the Philippine insurance industry? I mean, where do you see us going?
Well, it's definitely going ahead. It will be a stronger one. Everybody is trying to contribute to so that it will be a reliable insurance industry. We are very much aware of our responsibility to the people of the Philippines.
Lovely. And education-wise, what role does education play in that vision?
I think we also have a vital role in that endeavor.
Training the future leaders, future practitioners, so that the industry would definitely thrive even more.
Yeah.
Yes?
And bringing into the Philippines knowledge that we gather from elsewhere in the world. Yeah.
Lovely. Miss Ming, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I learned so much. I hope you're still doing okay. I mean, you're
Yeah,
good.
I'm fine. I am okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do have, before I let you go, we have a little quick 60 years of wisdom rapid fire question. Okay, so I will be asking 6 short questions lang po, and you should give me one word or one phrase only for answer. All right, so whatever comes to mind first, yun na po yun. Okay? Here we go. One word that best describes the insurance industry.
Resilient.
The most important quality ever insurance professional would have?
Professionalism.
Yes. Okay, one skill you have kept to succeed in the industry?
My rapport with people.
The biggest change you've seen in the industry over the years?
Technology.
One piece of advice for young professionals entering insurance today?
Come join us and have fun.
I love that. Have fun. And finally, in one sentence, what kind of future do you hope for the Philippine insurance industry?
I would like the insurance industry to continue with its professionalism, with its desire to be able to provide security insurance to everyone, from the farmer to the CEO, and be able also to stay strong and trustworthy.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ming. Definitely, I've learned a lot from you. What a beautiful conversation. Thank you for spending some time, your energy, your love, and attention. Thank you for being here. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. For our listeners, whether you are a seasoned practitioner or just beginning your journey in the industry, today's conversation highlights the important role that learning, collaboration, and continuous development play in shaping the future of insurance in the Philippines. Thank you so much for joining us this first episode of Season 2 of the IIAP podcast. I am Jacqy Raj, and we look forward to having you with us again in our next episode as we continue our series on insurance in practice.